tips and other entrepreneurs that will help you get started. Have you already started your own business? Then call in and share your story to help other entrepreneurs. That's the Entrepreneur Opportunity Hour, every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m., right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hey, you new to the area or just want to know about the best hidden gems and upcoming events? Stay tuned. Be Local Buzz with Devin takes you to these places, introduces you to the best businesses, and tells you about upcoming buzz. Preset your radio to Tan Talk 1340 AM or 106.1 FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. That is the Be Local Buzz with Devin on Tan Talk 1340 AM and 106 FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. Looking forward to speaking with you.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
It's now time for Connecting Caregivers with author, speaker, caregiver advocate, and talk show host Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for caregivers.
Caregivers around the world today, it's time to lift you up. It's time to celebrate. Good afternoon and welcome to Connecting Caregivers with me, Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers with love, laughter, and lessons learned. Because, I got a bunch of that stuff on the show where you can find help and hope. And we have Ed on the boards today. No more lottery winnings this week?
Relatively quiet week for me, yes.
Okay. But I'm glad you're here today because if it was not a quiet week for you, you might not be here. And so, my best friend and co-host, not sidekick, Lynn Thornley is not here again today because she's healing from her broken collarbone, broken clavicle. So we miss you, Lynn, and we'll see you soon. But we're really glad because we have my friend Michelle Lowack here today.
Thanks for having me back.
Thanks for being
well, and I haven't learned all my lessons, so that's why I'm back.
I learn something new every day. So with me today, I have Lavina Ward and Tiffany McGlorthon, as you say.
McGlorthon.
From Tequilla, Twin Towers, and Isaiah Village. Welcome.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
So glad you're here today. Friends of Jody Armstrong. She's like, called me up and she's like, you need to have these girls on your radio show. I go, okay, boss.
Yeah. Anything Jody says.
Yeah, when certain people tell you stuff, like when you tell me something or, okay, I need to listen to this.
Yeah. Exactly.
So thank you, Jody.
Thank you, Jody.
So I want to give a shout out to our newest listeners. We have Finley in Tampa, Asa in Sarasota, and Jessica in St. Pete. And like I always say, there's plenty of room around the Connecting Caregivers table for more listeners, whether you listen to us live on AM, FM, or on YouTube, or on Facebook, or on my website, or wherever.
What's your website?
LindaBurhans.com. Yeah, but please listen. I mean, the good thing about it is you can find information all the time. If you go to my YouTube channel, Connecting Caregivers Radio, every radio show is on there. Every Tuesday tip is on there. Every podcast is on there. So you can find a wealth of information. Oh, every conference is on there.
I was just going to say, are the conferences on there?
So we just finished, the most recent conference was November 8th, 9th, and 10th. And we had 21 speakers over 3 days. Wow. We had over 1,000 participants, which just warms my heart.
Wow.
Because every time you see like some repeat people, and then you see people that are brand new. I want to say a shout out to ABC Action News because you always like promote me and help me. And when I was on the ABC Action News bit, I drove home from Tampa to my house and I went and I looked and 50 people had signed up.
Wow. Yep.
And that's 50 new people.
That's 50 new people that just got a wealth of information that would not have had it otherwise.
That is awesome.
What an awesome free service.
Well, and the cool thing about the conference is, first, number one, because of all my fabulous sponsors, it's free to caregivers. Everything is totally free. And I really don't expect somebody to sit there for 3 days, 7 hours, and especially if you're a caregiver.
Yes.
You're looking to get 15 minutes.
Yeah. That's right.
Because I know for me it was very stressful, but anyone who registered for the conference, as with all my conferences, within 30 days you receive 21 videos of the conference.
Okay.
So you can watch it totally free. You can watch it. You can share it. You can do whatever you want to do with it. It's just like with the radio show. Somebody will send me a message and she goes, I was listening to this show, Linda. It was really good until Mom had to go to the bathroom. Sorry, didn't hear nothing else after that.
You can always pull back up and see it or repeat it. And
Yes.
So that's why I'm so glad I'm able to do that, to offer those different venues for caregivers. So it's been a fabulous week this week. I went to the Sages anniversary party the other night.
What an incredible organization.
Yes. Sages does theater for seniors, educational theater, but like in a fun way.
Okay.
So they had like Phony Baloney, which was about scams. Denying Gravity, which was about falls.
Oh, yes.
What was the third one? I can't remember the name of it. But there's a new show coming out. So this was kind of a celebration of where they've come in the last 4 years. In the beginning, they first show maybe it was like 100 people per audience, or per run. Now it's thousands.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, once again, all free to caregivers.
And so educational, instead of talking at people, as you're watching it, you can envision.
Yeah, this is what happens in the
what's
show.
going on.
It's like when they did the show about fall prevention, and it's like a throw rug, let's say, or whatever is the issue.
Okay.
All of a sudden, you see one girl going to the other.
Got to pick up the throw.
Like, we gotta get rid of them rugs.
That's right.
But if your kids told me to do that, if my kids told me, I like that rug.
Uh-huh.
I'm not getting rid of that rug.
I've never fallen yet, so I'm not going to ever
Yeah.
fall. But you could.
So it's really
You
interesting.
could.
So it started some conversation. So the next show is all about Alzheimer's and dementia and all that stuff. And I'm auditioning. So yes. Just happens to be a part for a caregiver advocate.
Oh my goodness.
Perfect.
But she's very
Love it.
flamboyant, they said, so I'm gonna have to try really hard.
So, well, you can work on that.
We're gonna work.
Maybe we can get you out of your
Oh
shell.
my god. So it was very fun having that. And there were things that came up the other night. Thank you, Christine Hammaker and Linda Goldman, for always acknowledging caregivers and doing everything that you do for caregivers. Was so fun. And I met somebody the other night, I don't want to say any names, but I met this woman I don't know, 15 years ago. And she worked for Empath Hospice. So when I walked in and I saw her, I was like, "Hi, how you doing?" And she looked at me like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
And so then as the program progressed and I was in the front for something, I went and sat down. She was sitting next to me and she goes, "Oh, I remember you." I said, she goes, "And lately, everywhere I go, I hear your name." I said, "I hope you don't go near the courts or the jails or anything."
Post
Oh my
office.
goodness.
Oh my goodness. So Michelle, I think we need to talk before we start chatting with these ladies. I think we need to talk about Silver Santas.
Silver Santas, near and dear to my heart right now.
And we're getting on a timeline here.
We are in crunch time. So we
For
talked about.
the people that don't know, tell them what Silver Santas is.
Okay, so Silver Santas is all done by volunteers that are members of Better Living for Seniors, under the umbrella of Area Agency on Aging. And all the volunteers come together. We're putting together 1,200 bags this year
Wow.
for
Amazing.
seniors, elders right here in Pinellas County. Either their care manager, their guardian, their social worker, or their activities director at their building or at their home has submitted what Linda wants. for
Yeah,
the
I get to make a
holidays.
little wish
Right.
list for myself. So I want a bathrobe. I want, whatever I want.
The bags
I
are-
definitely
yeah.
want a bathrobe, just so you know.
And I want a trip to Texas.
That's for her grandchildren and her daughter.
So the bags vary. They're between $50 and $100,
Okay.
and they are very personalized because the people that are chosen and when the names are submitted, these are people who would not have a holiday if it wasn't for
Right.
Silver Santas. This
Well,
yes.
isn't,
What gets me is you see that tag and it says, "I want some hand lotion
or I
or
want.
some nice shampoo."
I would like some
Mm.
toothpaste. I want,
Yeah.
Right.
Because people don't realize when people go into communities many times that the community takes all their money and they get a
Yes.
small stipend every month, a very small stipend.
Yes.
And so if they have no family members or friends or anything, no one is coming there and bringing them extra shampoo or a blankie or
socks,
Wow.
new underwear, a stuffed
Cashews.
animal, anything, a special treat. They might have a favorite kind of candy, or if they're
Right.
diabetic, a diabetic candy.
Okay.
So those lists are filled. They're out in the libraries right now. They're out in the community. The way to find out about how you can help at this point by either adopting somebody, taking a tag off the tree, is to just go to silversantas.org and click on the site. It'll say, and then you can just see what you want to do. Do you want to be a volunteer? If you do, you click on volunteer, fill out the information, and then it'll take you to all the opportunities.
Okay.
And you sign up for the location and the times that you want.
Yep.
They're in like 2-hour increments.
Right.
We're not asking for a lifetime commitment. That 2 hours will change your life. You will never want just a 2-hour shift again.
Yeah, and you know
That's
that you're making a
amazing.
difference.
You right here in the community.
And
That is awesome.
people don't realize the work behind this. There's a lot of work behind this
It's
sorting and making
monumental.
sure. You want to make sure that. All right, so let's say somebody returns a bag,
Yes.
and only 5 of the things isn't. But there's one more thing he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Well, then they have funds that people have donated, and they go out and they get that, so that everyone gets
Yeah.
Yes.
everything on their list. I mean, if I'm
That's
a senior,
amazing.
I want all my wishes on my list.
That's
when I was a kid, I
right.
could deal
That's
with
right.
having
Yes.
some, you know.
Yeah.
And if you're like me, because I volunteered for years, I remember in the first years with Sherry McKay. Oh my God, I'm going to Walmart and buying so many pairs of jogging pants and all this
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh my goodness.
But they have like a wish list on Amazon.
Correct. So you
Oh.
don't
So
even
you
have
can
to
just
leave
say,
it
I
at
want
home.
3 pairs of jogging pants and 4 pairs of socks, whatever, and go bing, bing, done.
And it'll all show up at the warehouse. And I happen to be
And
the
they'll
chair
use that
for the
for the
warehouse.
fill-in.
That is awesome.
And when I say the warehouse, we were there yesterday.
warehouse, yes.
With Tal and Bob, who are the chair and the co-chair for
Yeah.
the whole committee. We're looking, how can we be more efficient? Everything is online, from the volunteers to the
We've come a
lists.
long way.
It's it changes you as a person. We're giving the
awesome.
gifts, but you really do get the gift.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it's always better to
Well, you know,
willing
It's
to
better to
receive.
give than receive.
And I
Yes.
love Toys for Tots and I love all that stuff, but it's a small community there. You know,
Mhm.
a lot of people give for Toys for Tots because it's kids,
Yes.
Right.
which is fabulous.
Yes.
And
Speaking of toys,
with what?
speaking of toys,
Yeah, we'll get you your toys in a second.
welcome to the team here.
There are so many different things in the community, and sometimes people think more about helping kids than helping seniors, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
I mean, I remember this is probably 10 years ago, and it was at a Toys for Tots center, and they had so many toys. There was so many toys. It
Yeah.
was more than they could even give out.
Right.
And the other part that always gets my heart is we need toys for the older kids. We need for the 13-year-olds, the 14-year-olds, the 15-year-olds, whatever, because everybody buys the Barbie dolls and the soccer ball and the whatever.
Yeah,
Yes.
the children. We talked about.
So
this
talk about
last
the
week.
toy drive already.
I have to.
Wow.
Well, there's two. There's two I want to talk
Okay.
about. The first one is as president of the Rotary Club of Seminole. We do a toy drive and we call it Toys in the Trunk.
Okay.
It came into fruition, Toys in the Trunk, with COVID
Mm-hmm.
because, we weren't interacting. So
Right.
people could just pull up. We would take the stuff out of their trunk. It all goes to the Y. It all stays here local for the children
Mhm.
in Seminole and Largo.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
it
we need to
goes
take
over
care of
to
our home
YMCA.
first.
We're taking care of local children. The other one and that's December 3rd. It's at the, you can either call me 727-641-5483. I'll pick it up, go to our website, or
What's
come
the
on the
website?
3rd. Website is Rotary Club of Seminole. It's on
Mhm.
Facebook.
And just remember, if you're not writing this down either, at any time, you just contact me at Linda Burhans at AOL and I'll send you all the information.
Exactly. The other one that, some people say, well, that's great for all the kids, but do you know how many military families are on
Mhm.
food stamps
Yes.
and who don't know about different programs? Metropolitan Ministries opened their registration.
Mm-hmm.
And all that, and it doesn't have to be just military, it can be for anybody. Go online to Metropolitan Ministries and sign up. Not only do they give toys out,
Yeah.
but they also give out food.
They do.
Yeah.
And so, together we can partner and we can have an impact. And the
Oh,
ripple
yes.
is incredible.
It is
Yes.
incredible. Years ago, and I'm talking about 15 years ago maybe, was one Thanksgiving holiday. There was family issues going on, whatever, and I said to
Family issues?
my husband and I decided, you know what? We're going to go feed the homeless for Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
That's what we're going to do.
Mhm.
And went to Tampa. Cynthia Pickney, I can't remember the name of But anyway, so we went there and we fed all the homeless people, and everything was lovely. Everything was lovely. And we're driving home. We're going over like the Howard Franklin Bridge, and my husband looks like he's so depressed. And I'm like, "Hey, you just like did something good. You know, what's the deal?" And he said, Linda, I'm ashamed of myself. I said, "You're ashamed?" He goes, "I always judged homeless people. Mm-hmm. I never interacted with them." He goes, and he chatted with them, and he saw that they were just like people having a hard time. So he says, "Do you think we could bring them all cigarettes?" Because he was smoking and they all wanted cigarettes. And I'm like, no. We can't do that.
That's a nice thought, though. Very nice.
And so between him and I, we decided on socks.
Oh, okay.
And I was the executive director of a large nonprofit Professional Women in Power at the time. And we just started telling people, well, that Christmas, we gave out 3,000 pairs of socks in St. Pete.
It's one of the number one things asked for. And, in the richest country in the world, the fact that that's one of the top things that somebody needs is a pair of socks.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, after the first year, people started, it would be like October, and people would start leaving by my house, brand new pairs of socks.
Yes.
And then they started bringing underpants and T-shirts. Those are other things. I want a clean pair of underpants. I want a clean pair of socks.
They need warm. They need to be warm.
And you know what? I can wear somebody else's jeans or somebody else's. But underpants, do not want that. To have a new pair of underpants and a new pair of socks to somebody.
Yes.
I feel like a new person.
Yeah. All right, let's chat with you ladies a little bit. So we have TeQuilla Twin Towers and Isaiah Village. Who's going to chat first?
I will.
Okay. Yay. So introduce yourself and tell our listeners a little bit about yourself first.
My name is Tiffany McGlorthon. Thanks for having me here, Miss Linda. I appreciate you so very much. TeQuilla's Twin Towers minicamp came about by me having a special needs daughter. When she was 4 months old, we were in a school bus accident. Oh. However, the physicians would never listen to anything I had to say. So I kept coming back, and I was like, okay, look, I'm not leaving this time until someone tells me, what's going on with my baby. Yeah. And me being only, 18 years old.
Oh my goodness.
In high school, I'm standing like, okay, we need to figure out, what's going on. And they started to doing tests and things like that. And then they came back with a diagnosis of Wernicke-Hoffman's muscular disorder. And they said, we'll give her about, a year and a half. Usually kids don't live, past that age. Well, she lived to be 8.5 years old. We fought tooth and nail to keep her alive. But those 8.5 years it was a monster on me.
Sure.
And I found out after she passed away that if you don't take care of your body, the body shuts down.
Yeah.
And caregivers, listen up.
Yes, caregivers, please listen up.
Yeah.
After she passed away, I started having the wisdom tooth that I didn't know were coming out. Yeah. It was time to take them out.
You're a vessel.
I wound up having stomach virus that lasted like 3 months because I had not taken care of myself. I was so focused on taking care of my daughter. Right. The hair was falling out, the weight gain, everything that could happen happened. But the miracle was right before she passed away, we had to move closer to All Children's Hospital because she started getting worse. Mm-hmm. And they did a home for us, remodeled a home just for her so that we could have all of her medical equipment in one room and she could sleep in another room. And once they remodeled the house, they said, well, we have to tent the house. Can you, go somewhere for 3 days? We'll pay for it or whatever. So we went to a resort out on the beach. The resort had no accommodations. We called in and we requested a non-smoking room because she was, of course, on oxygen. We requested the wheelchair accommodations, the railing in the bathrooms. We had none of that. When we got to the room was smoked up. It smelled like a chain smoker was,
like a bar.
at the bar in the room. We went out to the pool to get away from the room for a couple hours. There were no accommodations at the pool. There were no accommodations anywhere. So that was hard for me being a caregiver. And when we came home, when we finally came home and moved into the house and so forth, we were there for about 7 months before she passed away. So when she passed away and I had to move out of the house, I started praying, Lord, what am I going to do now? You know,
you're 24/7 every minute.
I was a 24/7 caregiver for 8.5 years, you know? So a baby taking care of a baby and learning how to be the doctor, the nurse, the physical therapist, the respiratory therapist.
The advocate.
The advocate, you know, take a stand. Because before I had her, I was that young lady who always walked around with her mouth closed. But after her accident and the disability, I learned to have to stand up and open my mouth.
Yeah.
So now I am that caregiver in a sense to where I want to make sure that the caregivers take care of yourself. I'm not going to allow anyone to come on my board. I'm not going to allow anyone to come into my physical place. And if there's anything that I have that I know that you need, I'm going to provide it. If I don't have it, there's a resource to provide it.
Yeah.
So
that's fabulous.
I started working on building a resort and manicamp for parents and caregivers to take a break with their children or loved ones so that respite is a big thing. Respite is a very big thing for the parents and the caregivers.
Just give me a minute. We got to hear from our wonderful sponsors, and then we'll come right back to respite. So don't go away. Come right back to Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Are you looking for compassionate and dependable home care for you or a loved one? Assisting Hands Home Care, serving Pinellas and Pasco counties, can help.
The day came that taking care of my mother was no longer the best thing for me or for her. Between kids and a job, I couldn't give her the attention she needed and deserved, and I was overwhelmed. So I reached out to Assisting Hands Home Care. Now I can see what an important decision that was, and I feel confident that my mother has compassionate and dependable caregivers who help her to stay happy, healthy, and home. Today, I'm able to visit with my mother and enjoy our time together, which is exactly what we both needed.
Assisting Hands Home Care. Call today for your free in-home consultation. In Pinellas, call 727-748-4211 or visit assistinghands.com. When you can't do it all, give Assisting Hands a call.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
Sean W. Scott has been practicing elder law and qualifying clients for Medicaid for over 30 years. While his practice is in all areas of estate planning, such as durable power of attorney, healthcare surrogates, and wills, he also prides himself on having a 100% accuracy rate on getting clients approved for Medicaid. Why Medicaid, you may ask? Do you want to pay up to $16,000 a month for a nursing home should the time come? Obviously, no one wants to have to endure this cost. So even though you may have planned well for retirement, the reality is things happen. Planning ahead is never too soon. You need to make sure your income and assets are protected so that you can take care of you and your loved ones. Florida law is very specific on how and what is protected and how to protect it. Give Sean a call. He can help. 727-539-0181. That's 727-539-0181.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
And we're back, and we're here talking to Tiffany from TeQuillas Twin Towers Mini Camp. And we were just talking about respite care. So let's continue that conversation.
So,
First, let's tell people who don't know what respite care is.
Respite care it is where parents and caregivers actually take a break from being a caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't understand how important taking a break is.
Yeah.
If you cannot take a break from the situation or the circumstances, what happens is when something really severe does happen, you can't focus enough to make sure that your loved one is okay.
You're exhausted.
You're exhausted.
Yep.
You can't think. You can't move. Things start breaking down. And your mind is foggy. So how are you going to advocate for your child or loved one that has special needs if you don't take care of me?
So where do we go with this respite care program? What do you do?
We started our first program, an NFL Special Needs Flag League for the kids. And it's a way for us to get the kids out on the field. And I'm also incorporating other programs like dancing. So if you guys are dancers or choreographers and you would like to open up your businesses for our kids
and do
to
something
come out
nice for your community.
and do something nice for your community, we would accept all the help that you can give us. So we would like to have a dancing program. We would like to have a swimming program. We would also like to have, what was it I was going to say? You have the dancing, the swimming, the gymnastics. Gymnastics is very important, and also music.
I was just gonna say, please say
music. Music is very important to not only the ear, the inner ear, but the heart. Music ministers to your heart, and that is very important.
Yeah.
So we are looking for business owners or partners that will partner with TeQuillas Twin Towers Mini Camp in order to get these programs up and running.
Okay.
How would they contact you?
You may contact me at our phone number, which is 813-399-6083. Once again, that number is 813-399-6083. Or you can contact me personally at 407-549-6004. I will repeat that again. The number is 407-549-6004. Or you may go onto our website, which is tttrespiteretreats.com.
Okay.
And you will be able to see the programs we have. We have right now we're running the Christmas fundraiser for the special needs families.
Okay.
So that we can get donations to help the parents and caregivers get kids, toys and things like that for their babies, because it's been kind of hard for
Make sure they go to
our
Metropolitan Ministries.
Yes.
.org too.
Yes. So we're doing a fundraiser. We're going to be at the Shopapalooza. So if you like, you can come out and visit us there as well. But if
where are you located actually?
We are mobile. We are mobile. So all of our programs are mobile. That's how we connect with other partners so that we can.
So if somebody says, I have a dance studio.
Yes.
How can I help? Tell me exactly what I could do.
If you have a dance studio, we will be happy to partner with you and get a couple of hours a week so that our kiddos can come out, and do some dance programs or however in the evenings, preferably, or one day on the weekend, whatever works best for you.
Okay.
So that we can get our kids started, in their programs.
Yeah. That would be fabulous.
Wow.
Thank you.
That
Thank
would be
you.
fabulous.
What a great mission.
Yeah, it is a great mission.
Thank you.
So now we're going to hear about another great mission too. So we have our friend Lavina Ward here from Isaiah Village.
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much, Linda, for having us out here today.
I'm so glad you're here.
Nice to be here with you, Michelle.
Tell us a little bit about Isaiah Village.
Sure. So I have to tell you first that Isaiah Village was really not something I intended to do. but something that God has given me to do.
Yeah.
And that, I think, makes a big difference. I didn't realize my whole life he had actually been preparing me for this. I've been a caregiver in many different situations. I might not be in order, but I took care of my father when he had cancer, took care of my brother-in-law when he had an auto accident and brain injury. I have taken care of my mother with Alzheimer's. And then God blessed me with a job that I worked for Medicaid waiver, providing services for developmental and disabled individuals. And I loved that job. They asked me to take care of a child that was diagnosed with autism. And I said, oh, no. I said, I don't want to do that. I said, because I've never worked with anybody with autism. Yeah, I want to be somebody that knows how to do this, and I can't do that. So, God was trying to prepare me, and I didn't know. And so as I had that job, I ended up pregnant with my son, who is now 21 years old. And guess what? He was diagnosed with autism. So he's high functioning. And he's really been an inspiration for getting this going.
Is his name Isaiah?
His name is Adam. So Isaiah
is from the Bible for what?
It is in the Bible. So it's a book of the Bible.
Adam.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Adam, that's where he came. So
I haven't ever seen a Linda, I'll tell you that.
Oh, there's a Linda.
Oh, there's not a Lavina.
Oh my God.
But so Isaiah, so what God did for me was as I had my son and he was growing.
How old were you when you?
I was 31.
Okay.
So he was my last child, my third child. I actually was a mom at 17, but at 31, I had Adam, and I had no idea anything about autism. Right. I didn't know what this was. Right. I didn't know. People would tell me all the time, he's so good, he's so calm. Well, that's because he wasn't functioning properly, and I didn't realize.
Right.
So as things went on, his behaviors got bad when he started school. We had a lot of issues. They Baker Acted him at 8 years old from public school system. I was really at wit's end. I wasn't walking in my faith then. And about 11 years old, he was going to school here in Pinellas County, and they called me and said, we're calling the police. We're taking your son to jail. And I said, oh, my goodness. And so, just having that experience and not, what he was doing was just having behaviors because he was frustrated and scared. He couldn't cope.
Yeah. He couldn't cope.
Now, at that time, I started my faith-based walk. So we were really into our relationship with the Lord. My husband stopped and we prayed before we went to that school because we thought we were sending our son to jail.
Oh my God.
So with those experiences, I've learned that I don't want anybody else to have to go through that. I don't want anybody to walk through that alone.
Right.
It's a scary place to be. I'm not an expert, but I've been there. And so I can kind of relate with what other people are going through. And it's really hard because when you have a child with a difference, right, of any kind, you don't want to be told that there's something wrong with your child.
Right.
It's not something you want to hear. So people don't want to face it. So sometimes
it's not so much there's something wrong with your child. The child's just different.
They're different.
All done.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're all different.
We are all different. We all have different abilities, different personalities. Yeah. God's given us all a different personality for a purpose. But when somebody comes at you, a medical professional or somebody, and says, well, there's something that's going on with your child, it kind of takes you back. You don't want to hear those words.
Right.
So we want to be able to be there to accept when people are ready. We don't want to push anything on anybody. We just want to walk beside them when they're ready to have information and resources. We want to be able to help them find that. But, usually it doesn't happen right away. A lot of people don't. If your child's first diagnosed with something, you don't get help right away. You have to process.
Yeah.
You have to process. And by then, now you're out of touch and you don't know where to go for help.
Right.
So that's what really brought us to where we are. And
so why the name Isaiah?
Well, Isaiah is because God blessed me with a friend named Kelly. Kelly came alongside me when we started going to Generation Church here in Pinellas County. And she has 4 children, 3 with different disabilities.
Oh, okay.
She was my first person that got me. She got me. She understood. She understood what I went through. She understood the behaviors. She was there for me. And so God connected us.
Normalcy into your life.
Yes.
It does.
You know, I'm
because
not weird anymore. It's not just me.
Well, you think you're all alone.
Outsider.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think you're all alone. I'm the only one going through this. Nobody else understands,
God, no, my kid.
Yeah, I'm at work. I got to leave. My kids, they're calling the cops on my kids, and it's like, who else gets that? They just think that your child's misbehaving or you're doing a bad job as a parent. But,
and you have the guilt. And
so Kelly was actually studying the book of the Bible, Isaiah, and she was very involved in that book and very much on her heart. And I had been seeing these visions of, her and I were getting together and we were talking about what's going to happen with our kids. My son turned 18 and I'm like, where's he going to go? What's going to happen with him? And he's blessed because he has parents that can help him.
Right.
What about the kids coming out of the foster system that don't?
That's scary.
What about the people so I had brought statistics with me because I wanted to tell you guys that there are actually, let me see, 871,000 people with intellectual or developmental disabilities in the United States that they're caregivers over the age of 60.
And those are just those that are diagnosed and admitted.
That's correct.
Yes.
So
exactly.
With that being said, if they're already with a caregiver, what happens when that caregiver is gone?
Right.
So
exactly.
I started seeing these visions of this place. I see this nice little round driveway, like a cul-de-sac almost, and all these buildings around it. And I see a community center, and I see all these trees, and it's serene, and it feels peaceful, and it's happy. I keep seeing this all the time. And Kelly called me, and remember, she's in that book of Isaiah. She's studying the book, and it talks about being there for our widows and being there for, she's got it. So, we're supposed to be there for our community, right? That's what God's done for us. And she said, I got to come over. I got to talk to you. She says, I've been having this dream and I want to talk to you about it. So she sits down and she says, I've been having this dream of this property.
No way.
And this property has a community center. It's got all these houses. And I broke out in tears.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, okay, I've thought my whole life I'm trying to find a place for my son. I didn't know that we're supposed to be helping others find a place for their children.
That's right.
So this is where we said, how do we do this? I'm a nurse. Kelly works for a day program that takes care of people with disabilities. We're not equipped for this.
Right.
Thankfully, neither was any single person in that Bible when God called them to do something.
Right. That's
so
right.
we said, okay, we're walking out in faith,
Amen.
and we are going to do this. I filed the paperwork for becoming a nonprofit. We figured out how to do it's called a 1023, which makes you tax exempt. I didn't even know there was a difference between the two things.
Right.
Yes.
But what our goal is here is we want housing. Where's the housing? Did you know it's $1,500 for a 1-bedroom now?
Yeah, I know.
One
we
bedroom.
need to build a tiny village.
That's what we want. It's a tiny village. It's Isaiah's
you
village.
don't need a lot of
Okay?
Right.
We don't want tiny homes because it has to be accessible for people that might be in a wheelchair.
Yes.
Right? But we want cottages, small cottages.
Yes.
When I talked to my son about this, he's my model for this, right? Because he's got difficult behaviors. And I said, well, do you think apartment buildings would be good? He goes, I don't want to hear the music next door.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I have sensory issues.
Yep.
So let's do small
Cottages.
homes.
Yes.
So that's what we were seeing. We were seeing these small homes. And I thought, how great is that? So, my son's on Social Security. He gets $841 a month. That's max.
Oh, that's going to
Where's he going to live?
Long way.
So we want to have this wonderful village, and we want it to be different because we want the people. There's this class of people that, I guess, population of people. So there's something called the Medicaid waiver program, right? So they cater to people with disabilities. They have a list of you have to qualify for. You have to be either under an IQ of 70. You have to have severe autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome. There's a few others. But what's not in there is my son.
Right, the donut hole.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
So that's what we want to do that's different. We want that. We want to fill that gap.
Right.
How's he going to go somewhere? Okay, so they say they have affordable housing places. Well, no, it's not affordable. Not for somebody that makes $841 a month.
It's not affordable for people that are working full time.
Right.
Never mind somebody that has a disability or limited income.
Even if he could work, he can't be on his own because there's a few things that he needs to master before he can be out there on his own. Life skills, social skills. So at Isaiah Village, we don't want somebody to hover over him or make him take a program, but we want somebody there 24/7 that is there for him in case a resource for him. Support, exactly. We want people there to help each other, right?
Yes.
So if my son was there with Kelly's son, for example, my son might not say, I don't want to go and participate in these things, but I could ask him, he might not want to participate in a social activity or something, and I could say, well, what about helping Christian? Would you mind helping him?
That's a different story.
Of course. He loves to help people.
Yes.
The heart's so big for them.
Yes.
So now they're helping each other. So that's what we're supposed to do, unity, right?
That's right.
And so bringing them together and being able to help each other to grow and
that's
succeed.
Just all about life, any age.
It is.
Yes.
You know what? If I go to Mom and say, Mom, could you just really help me out, please, and fold this laundry?
Yes.
Well, she feels so good because
so
she can fold this laundry for me.
Yes.
And I feel good because she feels good.
That's right.
Yes.
And you said earlier,
and-
blessing somebody else is such a blessing.
Yes. And everybody has to feel some purpose.
Right.
That's right.
And this would give them purpose.
Yeah.
So we are believers in Jesus Christ. So our true hope is the Lord. So what we want to do at Isaiah Village is give them hope and independence. That hope is teaching them. So I'm not forcing anybody to learn my practices or my beliefs, but I'm going to love them with the love from Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then we want to bring that in and bring that to them so that they can feel that love, so that they know how to grow. And without the hope, we don't have anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We don't. It's hard, my son sits at home all the time he says he doesn't feel like he's worth anything. There's no purpose there.
Without a purpose, that's what
Right.
happens.
So let's give them a purpose.
Yeah.
Let them choose what it is.
Yeah.
That's right.
Somebody else is always making choices for them.
Person-centered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Person-centered, exactly.
And,
Not what I think.
It's not. It's not what I think. It's
Right.
and I'm learning from them, the people that I'm around. So, as we're doing this, it's going to take a long time to be able to build this.
It's not going to take a long time. It's perfect in God's time.
That's exactly right. So for me, it's going to take longer than it should, but for God, it's not.
Of course,
So people keep telling me,
we want it yesterday.
yeah. People keep
Exactly.
telling me, where do you want to do this? I said, I want to start in Pinellas County. We want to branch. We want to start in Pinellas County. They said, it's going to be very hard to do here. I said, my God's a big God.
Yeah.
So it will
He
work.
lives in Pinellas too.
He lives
you know
here.
that?
He does. He lives right here. So,
Yes, he
yeah.
does. Yes, he does.
So I think, earlier you said something about everybody wants to give money to kids, right? Well, I'm working with adults, and it's a difficult,
Yes.
just like with the older
Yes, they need
adults,
attention for
seniors.
that.
Yeah.
You need
And so,
to bring that attention.
right. So people need it. Just because a child with autism turns 18, they don't stop having autism.
That's right.
So
That's right.
we don't.
And a child at 18 without autism can't take care of themselves.
No, they
can't.
can't.
Do anything,
They
please.
can't.
Especially today.
There's a big transition period that needs to be there, and people need help with it.
Some of us are still working on that transition. And we're
I'm
not
right there with you. Don't you worry.
There's a lot of education though too. So there's a lot of also education for the other children that are hanging with our children with autism.
Yes.
Yes.
To just be understanding of them and
Community.
so they may not be exactly the same as you, but they got a whole bunch of other stuff to offer you
That's
Yes.
right.
that other people don't have.
That's
I mean,
right.
Building
their
a
talents,
community.
they're different things, their patience. And what do you think about that show, The Good Doctor?
Well, it was pretty good in the first couple seasons. That's my
It's
opinion.
different now, yeah.
It got a little different. It got a little too revealing, I would say,
Yeah.
is my terminology.
Yeah.
I thought it was nice to be able to show some of the characteristics of somebody and the challenges they
Yeah,
have.
I think that was just exposure part. That
It was.
good,
I really
right?
like that. The funny thing is he doesn't have autism, and he played a really good part.
Yeah, he did a good.
Now, there's another show out there, and I'm going to forget the name of it. Life as We Know It, I think
Okay.
is what it's called. It's on Netflix, and there are
Okay.
4 people with autism, and they're playing the parts of people with autism.
How interesting.
And I'm not sure if that's what it's called. I'm not trying to plug anything,
Yeah.
but it is really good. So it's a really good show because it's true. It's true. These people are playing the parts of what it's like for them.
Well, that's a good way
Yeah.
for other people to get an education about
Yeah,
it.
yes, it is.
Because
It
people
is.
don't understand. And when people understand and when people know better, they do better.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
if I remember when I was a kid, I was a camp counselor.
Mhm.
And this girl came to the camp. I knew something was different about her. I didn't know what it was. We thought she was shy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get her out there with athletics, though. She was like the star of the team.
Yeah.
And it was very nice because all the kids at the camp embraced her.
Yeah.
Because it was outside of school. It was outside of everything else.
Society telling them not.
Yeah,
That's
nobody
right.
was judging
They
anybody.
just use their heart, right?
Right.
Their heart.
They were a team, so they taught her to do things she didn't know. She taught them to do things. It was just such a loving thing to do, and I think that's basically what we all are.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But it's a busy, crazy world,
That's
It
it.
is.
and you don't know where to turn. And then you see all the terrible news on television and everything else. And
I gotta say something before you go to commercial break.
go ahead.
So it's interesting to me that we're sitting here because you said, this was not your plan.
That's
It
right.
was God's plan. Linda and I have known each other over 22 years. This was not our plan.
Yeah.
And again, this was not your
This
plan
was
when you had
definitely
your
not my
daughter.
plan.
No.
And isn't it amazing when you sit back and you listen to God's plan?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
He always is directing our steps.
Yes.
And I'm not going to speak for you all, but I know that when I take the wheel, it's in the ditch.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's in the ditch,
Yes,
and
you
it
are
is
absolutely
buried, and it
correct.
is underwater. It seriously,
Yeah.
all four of us,
Exactly.
different
Yes.
stories.
Yeah.
See?
All four of us came to where we are today, not planned by us, but planned by God.
So you
Planned
think
by
today was
God.
planned?
But we all four of us all came together.
Yeah.
Because we truly love someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your daughter, your son, my mother, your father, whatever. With that, we need to hear from our wonderful partners. Because you know the deal. If you don't hear from them, you don't hear from me. So don't go away. We'll be right back on Connecting Caregivers Radio.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Choosing the right chiropractor is an important choice to make. Located in Seminole, the Alexander Spine Center team is trained on the latest chiropractic treatments and technologies. At Alexander Spine Center, you'll find chiropractic and physical therapy care that is safe, effective, and a natural approach to pain and other health-related issues. Chiropractic unlocks your body's potential and natural healing process to ensure your life is a healthy life. We treat clients from the womb to the tomb. Call 727-397-3000 for a free consultation today, or visit our website at www.alexanderspinecenter.com.
They take good care of me twice a week. And did you know they got the Reader's Choice Award for 2019 for the best chiropractic in Pinellas County? So check them out.
Arden Courts is not just a place to live. It's a place to call home. Residential living combined with quality caregiving. This is the philosophy behind Arden Courts. Communities created exclusively for individuals with Alzheimer's disease and related dementia who would benefit from a safe and structured environment. For additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides, call 888-478-2410 to locate a community nearest you. Inquire about our educational seminars, resource library, or support groups, or simply feel free to ask questions you may have about Alzheimer's and related dementias. At Arden Courts, we know, we understand, and we can help because memory care is all we do. Remember, call 888-478-2410 for additional information about any of the unique services Arden Courts provides.
Guaranteed to make you laugh through your tears, Linda Burhan's book, Good Night and God Bless, is filled with humor and heartfelt inspiration to aid anyone facing the challenge of caring for a loved one at the end of life. Her story offers hope for human strength and understanding of weaknesses during a difficult time. Life doesn't normally prepare us to become a loved one's caregiver. When it happens, it's usually sudden. A diagnosis of an illness, age-related frailty, dementia, and life suddenly is anything but normal. And because we don't even know what we don't know, where do we turn to for help or guidance? In Connecting Caregivers, answers to the questions you didn't know you needed to ask, Linda offers information, education, and inspiration from her own experience and from experts whose advice, practical tools, and personal stories will empower and guide you. Make sure to add these inspiring books to your collection today. Available on Amazon.com.
Introducing the life-changing Foot Bar Walker.
I'm Peggy from Danville, Kentucky, and I'm 91 years old. The Foot Bar Walker revolutionized my care of George. It absolutely benefits the patient and the caregiver both, and that's the beauty of it. It's so easy to use. It folds up just like a dream. I got it in and out of the car without any effort at all. The saving that I made from having to put him in a nursing home came to about $192,000.
Does someone you love use a walker? Do they struggle to get up from a seated position? Are you a caregiver dealing with physical pain and stress as you help your patient? The Foot Bar Walker was designed to assist not only the patient, but also the caregiver. Patients have more control standing up, and no lifting from the caregiver is required. See how it works at thefootbarwalker.com. That's thefootbarwalker.com. Peggy, would you recommend the Foot Bar Walker?
Do I ever? I would not be in the health that I'm in today at this age had it not been for the Foot Bar Walker.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Yeah, I love the Foot Bar Walker. I love Nancy Morris, who invented it. I love that we got to demonstrate it during the conference. It's a really good thing. So check them out at thefootbarwalker.com.
How can they hear about that conference? Can they go on YouTube or something?
Not yet.
When
because
can they?
Because the people who had registered for the conference, they're privy first.
Oh.
It will not go to the public probably till another 30 days after that, and then it'll be I give them a little bit at a time because you got to register.
There you go. So register next time, right?
Yes, I mean it's so simple. And this past conference and the one before, the last session was Dr. Karen Truman, and she did Alzheimer's and dementia training, and you could get a CEU for it.
Oh, wow.
So for $10, so you would go see the last session, and then you go to her website, you fill out some paperwork or whatever, and you PayPal her $10, and she sends you a certificate.
That's great. Awesome.
We had a bunch of gals that did this conference, so that was good too. All good. So, ladies, we're coming to a close here. Please, once again, say the name of your business and where we can find you.
This is Lavina Ward, and I'm with Isaiah Village, which is isaiahvillage.com. Or you can call me at 727-224-1624.
Thank you.
And my name is Tiffany McGlorthon. I'm with Tequilla's Twin Towers Mini Camp, and you can find us on www.ttntrespiteretreats.com, or you can contact us at 813-399-6083 or 407-549-6004 to partner with our organization and help us build this resort and camp for parents and caregivers.
Yeah. So once again, if you didn't write down any of that information that is told you, don't worry. All the information will be in the description of the show. Or if you have any questions about anything, you can email me through my website, lindaburhans.com. Thank you Michelle for being here with me today.
Thanks for having me, and Lenny, get well, but I will save the seat until you get back.
And thank you, ladies. I so appreciate you being here today.
Thank you for inviting us. We really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Well, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I will not be here next Friday. Plus, it's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
69 years old. Wow. Oh, my God. My goodness.
To you.
Happy
birthday to you.
But I'm very excited to say that Sunday morning I fly out to Colorado Springs to see my granddaughter Skylar, who is 5 months pregnant, who I need to hug.
And touch that baby.
I can't wait. And it's snowing out there and everything. She's like, Grandma, pack your Germany clothes. I was like, oh, okay. So this morning I did go out and buy another
Oh my goodness.
And another pair of gloves.
Okay.
Because my nose is running just thinking of going.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Layers and layers on.
So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Please tune in though next Friday. The show will still be here with the fabulous Becky Moultrie will be hosting the show next week. And I might even call in. So God bless you all. You know how much I appreciate all your time. I know it's not easy being a caregiver. I know it's not easy having time to do this kind of stuff. But I'm glad we have a bunch of different ways you can do it. Remember, God loves you all the time, and have a delicious day.
Amen. All right.